Hello. I thought as I was popping a rosette tutorial together, I thought I'd put a medal together while I was here. Okay, so I'm going to make a gold rosette. Now, first of all, I'm starting with something that my inspiration team was doing that I kind of thought, why didn't I do that? And what they did was they stuck two of the medals back to back. Now, what that meant was when if your medal turns over or you look on the back, it's just as nice as it is on the front. I was leaving mine plain white on the back. Well, that wasn't very well finished off, was it? So I'm going to follow their example because after all, they're the inspiration team and they don't have to inspire me too. So I'm going to just glue two of these straight away. Put two of these together. Now, I think it looks the best if you cut your backing layer in your shinier material, but that is just me. You don't have to do that. Okay, well, I put some pressure on that. Let's look at our medal set. So here's our medal set. So what you want to do then is you want to cut two of these and glue them back to back as I am here. Okay. Your next step is you want to decide what front you'd like. Now, on this particular one, I've cut the laurel wreath. Now, like I said, I always use my shiniest layer as my backing layer. Now, I think it looks cool with the really shiny bits glinting through the holes. But it's up to you. But this time, I think you get great results if you use a mirror and a satin. Or like a pearl. They're given lots of different names. But I think you might know what I mean if I say mirror and satin. So anyway, so I've picked the laurel wreath for this one. So you can do that, or you can have the ring of stars. Now, one little thing that I will point out for you, and it's best if you turn it over to see. So this is your outside ring, and you know which is the front. It's got the little pokey holes. So if you flip it over to the smooth side, you'll see at the front, and you have to look really, really carefully. You probably won't be able to see it on camera, but if you rub your thumb in there, because it's not sharp, you'll feel it. There's a tiny, tiny little divot sticking out, and it is really teeny tiny. Now, when you turn over, because it's difficult to tell with these as well while you look at them on the front, but if you turn them over, you'll see on these as well, there's a tiny, tiny little divot, and you'll feel it if you rub your finger over it. Don't worry, there's nothing sharp, it won't cut you. But there is a tiny, tiny little divot there. Now, what that means is, if you put these together and you line up those divots together and then pop a little bit of tape on, then it will be completely central. So you'll have one star is exactly in the middle of your ribbon holder here. But it's even more important on this one, on the laurel wreath, because you want where it crosses over at the bottom to be perfectly central, and obviously you want the gap where they are up there to be perfectly central as well. I mean, if it's slightly off, I think it would be really noticeable. So turn your pieces over, have a little look, and you'll see there's a tiny, tiny little divot. Okay, I'll just put them back on. So I'll pop that. Now I remembered to put double-sided sticky tape on this. Wherever you've got any detail layers, I do normally use double-sided sticky roll. You can get them from a lot of places, and Chand have it on their website. Now, this is great, especially if you're going on to the top of mirror card, because anything that's non-porous, the glue takes a while to stick, but it also kind of spreads out, so it oozes out. So it's a bit of a pain. So double-sided sticky tape, believe me, is the way. But if you just use it on your delicate pieces, you don't have to use it on everything. I certainly don't. That way it lasts longer. Okay, so that's what I've got there. I've got my laurel wreath around the outside. I think the laurel wreath ones make them look more like competition winners, whereas I think the star option looks more like a celebration, but that's just me. That's kind of what I had in mind when I was designing them anyway. Okay, now, so you've got two different designs of outsides, but you've also got two different designs of insides. Actually, tell a lie, you've got three, because if you wanted a plain one, then remember the smaller plain circle in the rosette pack is exactly the same size, and that was deliberate. So whether you were making rosettes or medals, you have got three different choices of your front layers. So you can have the two decorative ones or the plain one. So it's completely up to you. So on this particular one, I've chosen this left one. It's like a sunburst, isn't it? Where that one's kind of like radiating outwards. This to me is like a sunburst. This is my favorite. Okay, so that's the one that I'm going to use on this one. Now, I like to pop it up on 3D tape. And especially when you cut these perforations in, it does kind of make it a bit more fluid. So I cut a spare one using the plain circle in the rosette pack, and I'll glue those together. Okay, now I want to pop that into the middle of my circle, but I want to pop it up on some 3D foam. So let's put down a couple of pieces of that. I'm going to try and make it pretty central if I can. But there, so I've added two together. It makes it a little stiffer. Okay, it's coming together. Now, we want to decide what's going on the front. So, you've got your awards to choose from. So, if it's a medal for someone being the number one, like say it's Father's Day, you're my number one dad, you know, that would be a great option. If it's because someone's world's greatest teacher or best ever, you know, brother-in-law, whatever it is, I think those would be great options. Of course, you can use them for birthdays, absolutely. But if it's for competition or for winners, then you've got the ones in your rosette pack. So it could be winner, champion, reserve champion, first, second, third. Now I've done a gold one, so to me that's always first, or winner, or champion. So, but I've gone for first today. Now I've gone for two because I'd like a little bit of dimension, and to make it easier for myself, while I was popping the laurel wreath through with some double-sided sticky tape, I added two of these first as well. Because I'm not putting this up on 3D foam tape, I thought it would give it a little bit more dimension, make it a little bit thicker, a little bit more, because we're going for that like metallic look, aren't we? So I thought it would look a little bit more, you know, like embossed metal or something, if it's a little bit thicker. Now I'm just going to pop this on the middle because it's got double-sided sticky tape. So now we need the number to be slightly over to the left. So how's that looking? I think that's looking pretty good. There we go, stick that down. So it stands out a little bit. It's better than just having one layer. We're not putting it on 3D foam tape because it's a little bit thin for that, but it stands out just that bit. We've got a good bit of layer from this front layer here, and obviously look at the back, it's all lovely and finished off. Why I never thought of that, I do not know. Okay, now what you want to be using is about a yard of a 1-inch ribbon if it's to be worn. And if it's going in a picture frame or something like that, obviously you might only need a little bit. Okay, so I want to cut these off a bit straight. You've got a couple of options here. You can stitch them, and that'll make it super neat. But a bit of double-sided sticky tape does a pretty good job. And it's not as visible as you would think. If I put that down, see, that's pretty neat, isn't it? It's not really very visible. I think that's great. It was a lot better results than I thought it would be. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. So there you are. There is a medal. If you are holding, I think, because these do go together pretty quick. They go together a lot quicker than the rosettes, obviously. There's less pieces involved. And I think they're really dramatic. And I think kids would love them. So if you were having a kid's birthday party and you've got party games going on, I think every child that went home with a medal, because you would make sure that everyone went home with one, I think they'd be delighted to go home with something like that as a keepsake from a birthday party. I know I would have when I was younger. So there you have it. There's how to put together the medals. It's pretty easy, to be honest. You didn't need a tutorial, but I thought as I had the camera out, why not? And there you have it. There's the rosettes. And if you've bought your pack, I hope you have great fun crafting with them and obviously gifting them to the people in your life.